I need to have some me time or just go for a walk. And then I just walk from his house to the city center, which is like 1.5 hour walk without a sidewalk. And everybody's like, you're absolutely crazy. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I mean, the cars just work around you. It's absolutely okay. Don't worry about it. But his mom almost died. And his sister was like, oh, you're an idiot. Oh, yeah. You'll be fine. Just go and do your own thing. And everybody's like, fine, girl, go.
Welcome to International Love Story, the podcast about intercultural relationships. My name is Christina, and in today's podcast episode, I would like to welcome Marcella, who's living in the Netherlands at the moment, and Hrishi, who's living in India. So they are in a long-distance relationship on more than 8,000 kilometers, and I know exactly how that feels like, because the one or the other that follows our love story knows that Nacha and I, that we used to date on distance as well. So I guess this is going to be a topic in today's podcast episode as well. I know the one or the other thing about them already, but most of their story will be a surprise to me as well, and I can't wait to listen to the whole story. So let's just give a warm welcome to Marcella and Hrishi. Thank you so much for being here today. And with this being said, go ahead, introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? Tell us all about you.
Well, hello. My name is Marcella. I live in the Netherlands, in Haarlem, which is close to Amsterdam, which is good because it's close to the airport, which helps in a long-distance relationship. I work in the staffing industry as a HR director. And well, on a daily basis, I live by myself, or at least with a roommate, not with Rishi, unfortunately. So when we're not together, I spend most of my days just working, video calling, and being busy with my hobby, photography, in short.
Yeah.
Please.
Hi, this is Rishi from India, and I work as a freelance personal trainer, as well as I have my YouTube channel. It's called The Fit Rishi Vlogs, and traveling is my hobby. And actually, to be honest, she lives close to the airport. That's a very, very, very beneficial because she lives like 30 minutes away from the airport. And whether from my side, I have to travel at least 4 hours to reach to the international airport. That's a kind of a pain, to be honest. And if you're talking about the free time, I like biking. Most of my videos are on the bike. I just love being on the road. That's my hobby.
Talking about the distance and airport situation. As mentioned in the little intro I gave, you guys are dating on more than 8,000 kilometers. So when you, Marcella, because I know you visited each other already, and when you, Marcella, visited India the first time, how long did it actually take you from door to door until you guys were able to reunite again?
It it takes you almost a day, really, because you have to be at the airport 3 hours, at least 3 hours in advance. And well, I hate to be late. It's probably one of the Dutch cultural things. So I always be there 4 hours ahead. The Germans have it too, so you must recognize it. So that's about 4 hours, and then you have a minimum of 8.5, 9 hour flight if you're lucky, if you have a direct one. And then you'll have to do the customs, immigration at the India airport, at Mumbai airport, and then another 4 to 5 hours in a cab. So in total, it's around 17 till 20 hours with a direct flight. Otherwise, it'll go up even more depending on the layover and the route you take, of course. So it takes quite some time. Yeah, it's impossible to do a quick visit, really, because then you will only be traveling the whole time. So yeah, if you go there, you have to actually plan, take leave, long leave, and plan minimum 2 weeks. Our first date had a duration of 2 weeks, which is quite intense for a first date, but it was a pretty short trip, to be honest, to go all the way to India. But after that, we at least tried to be together for 3 weeks or more, preferably more, but sometimes that's not possible because of work. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. I mean, that's quite a trip. We were in a similar situation, but in our case, it was Miami in Germany.
Okay.
But yeah, travel time and also the time difference in general, just yeah, It was a hustle. So yeah, I feel like we should start from the beginning. You guys are dating on distance. There is quite a distance between you two. And the story you met is quite unique as well. How did you meet?
Uh,
Um, that's your story, Rishi. And be honest.
well, okay, it is quite an interesting story to be honest. Actually, generally, if you are aware of the Indian culture, most of the people, the average Indian age to get married is between 25 to 28 for male. That's an ideal age. But I was already 38. No, 37, I believe, and my parents have already lost hopes that okay, our son is going to get married. Okay, let's do whatever he wants. And one of my friends who is already married told me that, okay, now it's time that you should start dating someone. And I said, well, okay. So he literally grabbed my phones, download Bumble Premium, and he paid for the Bumble fee by his own credit card. Can you believe it? And he did everything. He asked me, okay, I'm going to put this photos on your profile. Okay, this, and I'm going to set the locations, which is Amsterdam. I said, but why Amsterdam? There are other million locations. Why Amsterdam? I said, and he was like, no, no, just Amsterdam. Start from A. I said, okay, let's do it. And after actually, I saw her profile, and I was like, she is pretty and nice, and she has nice skills, so I should like her. And so actually, what happens if you like someone's profile and that person likes yours too, then it's a match. And so from the actually, but the conversation should be started from the female's end. And so I was waiting that I already extended the match, and actually it was like only 6 to 8 hours remaining, and then I got a message somewhere in the morning where I was about to leave to my gym. And so it all started with a lie. She asked me, where are you? I said, no, I'm in Amsterdam. And that was my first reply. And she is a smart woman. She immediately caught my lie. And even I actually accepted, okay, I'm not in Amsterdam, I'm in Pune. But this is my agenda. I'm looking for this. And this is how it all started. It started with lie, to be honest.
But I mean, there has to be something, Marcella, back then where you were just like, okay, I will forgive him this little lie. So what made you staying in touch with him besides him lying right in the beginning?
Yeah. Well, at first I was like, okay, well, he's not here in the area in India. Okay, please, no, I don't have time for this. Let's not do this. Seriously, I was like, no. Okay, he can be really good looking, but that's not all. Let's not do this. But I never blocked him or anything. So we just kept chatting. Not even that much in the beginning. It was like one message a day or something, maybe two or three long messages and serious questions. Totally different than the average guy on a dating app. So it was at some point it started to become more fun to talk to him, and he became sort of the like he was just always there. And at some point you start to talk more and more and more, and it sort of grows on you a bit. And I was like, okay, India, still not a good idea, really, to be honest. I still wasn't really convinced about it because I never saw myself immigrate to another country or something like that. So I was a bit hesitant in the beginning, but at some point I was like, okay, we are talking for over a month now. I believe it was somewhat like a month, maybe a little shorter, maybe a little longer. I was like, okay, if we want to see if this is going to work, I really want to see you. I just want to see if the chemistry is there, if I'm going to see you. Because yes, you can have very nice conversations online via chat, but it's so different than when you see someone in person. And if you're not careful, you tend to sort of start talking to yourself on a chat because you sort of, I don't know how to say that, but you interpret messages with your own mind instead of the person talking to you. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna book a ticket. I'm gonna book a flight to Mumbai. So I told him, "Are you okay with the fact that I want to come because it means something. I cannot come over for just one date. It's not one dinner or one walk or like we're really going to have to spend some time together. And what are we going to do if it doesn't work out? I mean, anything is possible. So, and I believe it was a Friday or a Saturday night. And I was with some friends, with also two of my best friends. And I was like, "Shall I do this?" And they were like, "Yeah, girl, go for it." And I just did it. I booked the flight and told him I booked the flight. I'm coming then and then. So it was quite the experience, but it was mainly all because of him keeping up the conversation and just being different than the other guys on the dating app. It's just, I don't know, he was able to keep my attention, so I'm happy he did that.
Now, I'm obviously curious how you received it, Rishi. Like, once you was like, "Hey, is it okay if I just book a flight? If I just visit you? Let's just have our first date." How was it for you? Did you first think it's crazy? How did you feel about it in general? And also, how did you feel about the conversations you guys had?
Uh, so yeah, to be honest, I actually kind of missed my heartbeat when she told me that I'm coming there. And I was running on a beach. I was on a uh, bike fest in Goa, which is a very famous destination in India. So I was there, and in the morning, I was running on the beach, and I saw her message that, "Okay, Rishi, that's my flight ticket." But I was like, well, okay, she sent me the flight ticket. This could be the flight itinerary also. I mean, it's just a flight ticket. But later, couple of days, she sent me an Indian visa. Then I was like, wow, she is coming now. I mean, it's a it's a deal that she is coming, and now I cannot walk back because unless and until she didn't send me the picture of the Indian visa, I was kind of not very sure that she is coming. But the moment I saw picture of her visa, I was like, okay, now it's time to get mentally prepared. And yeah, to be honest, I was a little scared. Yeah, because I never had such experience before in my life, and so it was totally new to me. So yeah, to be honest, I was a little scared.
And the time between the first, like the Bumble match, and you, Marcella, flying to India, what's the time frame? How many weeks were in between?
We matched on Bumble on the 28th of October, and I flew to India on the 9th of January.
2024, so last year,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yes.
it's a little over 2 months. Yeah.
No, I was just wondering, because like just booking a flight ticket. I just first of all, I love Marcella that your friends were so supportive and that they were like, "Hey, girl, you don't have anything to lose. Just see if things will work out and where this is going to lead." Because also I've made a similar experience with that, and it's always great to have people surrounded that are very supportive, even though if you think you're super crazy, which it is kind of crazy, but it worked out. So and I'm just wondering, like sitting in that plane and or traveling in general, like almost one day to another country, seeing a person you've never met in person yet. I mean, what were your thoughts while you were traveling to India, Marcella?
Of course, you're scared, and there are all kinds of insecurities and thoughts running through your head. But I'm also the type of person that's like, okay, I really want to try this. Let's go for it, and we'll see where it ends up. I have my credit card, I have my passport, I have my sanity. If it didn't work out, I could always book another flight to Delhi, for example, and explore another city. Or I was like, okay, I'm not stupid. I know how to handle myself and things around me. So let's try and let's see. And what's the worst thing that can happen is that I'm in India for 2 weeks by myself. Well, that should be fine too. I have my camera, I have my clothes, my money, it'll be fine. So in that sense, I sort of try to calm myself down. But indeed, the moment you are going through immigration and you're walking towards the exit of the airport and he's there, you're like, oh my God. Yes, of course, your heart starts to race and your mind is working overtime. Yes, of course. And the first days are also awkward because who has a first date after I don't know, 15 hours of traveling. So that was weird too. I mean, you share a hotel room on your first date. You're 24/7 together the first 2 weeks. It's absolutely insane. So you only realize what happens when you're back home in the quiet times and you're looking back on it like, oh, what just happened? It's sort of yeah, it all passes so quickly. It's sort of a adrenaline rush too. It's all at the same time, everything at once. But I think that's also what's sort of the magic to this whole situation, because when do you experience something like that? You don't have that with the normal regular dating. So it was, yes, it's scary, but if you're not intimidated quickly and you sort of try to enjoy it, it's the most amazing thing, really. You feel like you're alive. So yeah.
I love that. I love that because, again, as mentioned in the beginning, your cultural background is different from our cultural background, but there are just so many similarities. And the ones who are listening to this podcast on a regular basis, they know that I've done something like this as well. So I've traveled to Argentina just to be like, hey, listen, we kind of have to put a label on it now. Like, what are we? Are we just like friends with benefits? Are we dating? And then from there, it's just like, I don't regret my decision, even though if I thought like, okay, I am overwhelmed. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I have no idea how this will end, but I have to take this one shot and see how it goes. So what happened afterwards? You were welcomed with open arms in India, super overwhelmed, the both of you. So how does the story develop from there?
Well, we started with ordering some pav bhaji, like a local street food dish from Mumbai, just to have a meal together and have a short walk, just to sort of unwind a little. And in total, we spent 2.5 days in Mumbai, I believe. And then the scary part started, meeting his family, because then we went from Mumbai to Pune. And I knew that Lucy was living in a joint family house. So it wasn't just him there. So, but also his mom and dad and some uncles. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I sort of got really scared. Like, okay, it was intense meeting you in this setting, but meeting your in-laws in that setting is next level, really. So yeah, and but they welcomed me with open arms, with enthusiasm, and they made me feel at home the second I arrived, or at least they tried to. Of course, you don't feel at home yet, but at least they tried to. And there was never a weird look or something like that. No, it was just all very sweet and welcoming. So it's almost perfect. Yeah, except for the anxious feelings that are somewhere in between running through your body. It's other than that, it's just almost like the perfect romantic Bollywood story almost. Yeah.
It sounds like, obviously, I'm also curious, Yoshi, how you prepared your family for Marcella from the Netherlands that you recently met on Bumble online because you just said Amsterdam is your location, or your friend did. So how did you explain that to your parents?
Oh, so basically what happened, I still remember the day. It was the day of 31st of December 2023. And he was coming on the 9th of January. So I thought that, okay, now it's the right time to tell mom and dad that, okay, she is coming now. And the dream where you were dreaming about me is that I should get married and I should get settled down in life. Okay, that's your chance. She is going to be here from 9th of January till 21st of January. Okay, so, and they were totally zapped. I actually enjoyed that moment more than them. I mean, if my camera was ready back then, I would have recorded their facial expression right away. It was just something like that. So basically, what happened on the day of 31st December 2023, I called my sister that okay, just be at home by 6 in the evening, and also told my mom and dad, okay, in the evening, my sister's name is Kalyani, so Kalyani is going to be there, and I'm going to tell you something really nice, which you like. And they said, okay. So, but mom had a slight clue. And she was like, okay, tell me, tell me, tell me. She started continuously nagging me as soon as I told her that, okay, I have special news. But I had to, you know, keep my excitement and keep the secret intact until 6 p.m. in the evening. So as soon as the sister arrived, I told them that, okay, there is a girl from the Netherlands. She is coming on the 9th of January and she is going to stay with us in our house. So be prepared and please do not make her uh, feel uh, that she is living in India and first of all, first 5 minutes they took to recover from that shock because the first question my mom asked me that well, I mean, is India is running out of women these days? I mean, it's and I was like, no, but you gave me freedom to choose my wife, right? And they were like, yes, of course, it's your life and it's your call. So we just want to see you happy. And we are glad that you made the decision and she is coming to you. But that 5 minutes was, I mean, I just cannot forget. It was precious. I mean, the look had on their face was precious. But but I must tell you here one thing that I was a little bit tense. I had tension. Even I had goosebumps. I was butterflies in my stomach. I was anxious. Mixture of everything. But yeah, they took it very nicely and positively. So on and on, it was a very good experience.
How is because as far as I understand, they gave you the go to choose your wife. And I know that dating in India is different to dating in Europe. So when Marcella came, because I know already what happened afterwards, but when Marcella came, was it kind of clear already once you get along in person as well, in which direction this all will lead? How did it develop? Because as far as I understand, to me it sounds like Marcella had maybe different expectations than you when it comes to what is dating.
So basically, to be honest, on my Bumble profile, I clearly mentioned that I'm looking for a life partner and long-term relationship and a marriage. I I was clear from my end, 100%. So, but the moment I saw her, I became more confident that she's the one. She is the one, and it all happened very naturally. I mean, it was right from the moment we started talking, like we know each other since ages. There was uh, I mean, no tension while talking between us. I mean, what generally happens if you are meeting someone from like 8,500 kilometers and you are meeting that person for the first time in your life, there can be some, it's a kind of a resistance. I mean, you just want to talk, but you are not able to express your feelings or you are just not able to initiate the conversation. But we both, I mean, we both didn't feel it, to be honest. So, I mean, it was just, I believe that it was meant to happen. I mean, if you believe in a destiny, it is there.
It was the same for you, Marcella, right? Because I know how fast you guys moved from, again, having a Bumble connection to you flying to India, meeting his family, and then eventually getting engaged as well. So all of that just happened in a very short period of time. So I'm wondering what your side of the story is, how it was for you after you've arrived. Did you have this instant connection? I mean, obviously you had this instant connection, but the instant feeling as well, like this is the person I want to spend my life with?
Yeah, I did. And that, like I said, when we started talking, it immediately felt right. But I also wanted to know if it felt right if we met in person. So that's why I made the decision to go there pretty quickly. And I sort of felt the same. Of course, you still need to grow. I mean, how well do you know a person after 3 months? You don't. So of course there's a lot to learn, and of course anything can happen. And I know that the Europeans have a different outlook on that than most of the Indians probably. But maybe that is also why I was okay with the speed things developed, because in my mind there's always a way out. If it doesn't work, you're not a prisoner in your own relationship or something. It's just if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's fine too. And To be honest, Rishi is not, to me, he's not a typical Indian in that sense because he also travels a lot. Although it has always been within India, but still, if you go to Goa or something, you have a lot of conversations with people from all over the globe, and you get influenced by almost everything. So his worldview isn't that conservative or that strict. So that gave me a safe feeling too, just to see where it goes. And the second time I went there, I stayed there for 5 weeks. And in those 5 weeks, when you're together, you're like together. It's even more intense than living together as a normal couple. It's like everything is in a pressure cooker. So if you're together for 2 weeks, it feels like a year. If you're together for 5 weeks, it feels like you're together for 5 years. It's like, wow, everything is so intense. It's almost 24/7 together. And especially especially when I was in India, with the housing situation. I mean, it's pretty cramped, to be honest. It's way different than what I'm used to here, and so that adds up to that pressure cooker. So at some point, I was like, okay, if I'm still feeling like this is good and it feels good, and I want this, then it is good, because otherwise, I would have known by now. Knowing myself, I know I would have known by then if it wasn't okay. So I knew it was fine. It's good, but we're still also on all sorts of levels. We're also still learning from each other and about each other, because it's not even 2 years. So of course, not every secret is out on the table, but that's fine too, because hey, I had longer relationships where that wasn't the case either. So it doesn't really matter. But as long as you're together and you're willing to make it work, it'll work. So yeah, it still feels right.
How did you make it work on distance over the past few months?
Lots of chatting, lots of calling, just trying to be as open as possible. It sort of forces you to communicate in a different way than you're probably used to with other relationships, with people who are closer to you, because you sort of miss all those small daily things, like all the body language, the, I don't know, running through a room because you're in a rush, or everything that's sort of happening around verbal communication. You don't have it, so you have to verbalize everything. And yeah, that it has been tough sometimes, especially because you sort of sometimes you don't want to verbalize things. You just want the other to see you, but they can't. So it's unfair also at some point. But at sometimes it also feels lonely because you don't have that, and you have to verbalize everything and ask. It feels like asking for everything, for attention, for love, for things, but it isn't. It isn't like that, but it sometimes feels like that because of the verbalization of every feeling you have. So yeah, that is challenging, but that's like the only thing you have. So you have to do it. And other things that we're trying to do is sort of surprise each other. So every once in a while, I send over surprise gifts by mail, and I know it takes about 3 weeks because I believe they still have the mail service by birds or something to India. I don't know. It takes a very long time. So every once in a while, I just post a card or send a small gift or something like that, just to add to the connection. Like, yes, you're far away, but you're still very close in that sense. And of course, always thinking about the next trip, the next time you're together. What are we going to do? How do you want to spend it? What do you want to see? Where do you want to go? Or, it's just sort of daydreaming about those things because, yeah. And of course, the memories of the past trips. Like I said, one of my hobbies is photography. So I have like thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures of our trips, and every once in a while, when I have some spare time, I start editing those pictures, and then when they're ready, I'll send them to him as well, and then we could sort of reminisce about that whole trip again, and like, okay, do you remember this guy or this situation or something like that, just to feel together at that point.
Yeah, feel closer to each other. What's the time difference between India and the Netherlands right now?
Not that much, to be honest. Right now, because of winter time, it's 4.5 hours. But on the 31st of March, I believe, it's only 3.5 hours.
Okay.
So that's
So
that's
that's
okay. That's easier than what you had. Yeah.
it is a little bit easier. I mean, yeah, definitely that you'll be able to talk at human being hours. In your case, you, Marcella, you've traveled to India 2 times. One time, 2 weeks, and the second time, 5 weeks. But I know that Hiroshi also travel to the Netherlands, right? Or is that a problem visa-wise? How does it work?
So I'm going to answer this question because the first of all, I would like to start my answer with credit which goes to her. I mean, she put the cornerstone of our relationship back then. She took all the efforts. 99% efforts were being taken by her. And I was just a 1% because I had to go just to Mumbai, from Pune to Mumbai, 180 kilometers. That's it. She came all the way from the Netherlands to India. So all the credit goes to her. And still, I'm talking about my visa. I mean, to be honest, again, the credit goes to her because sent me some very important documents. Of course, I cannot disclose them here, but that document helped me a lot. And so basically what happens here, as far as the European visa is concerned, we have a organization which is called the VFS. So we have to go there and to submit our documents. And as soon as we reached to the Netherlands desk, that man saw all the documents and he said, "Sir, before we take this document to the Netherlands, I would like to tell you one thing, that your visa is almost done." I mean, so that was the smoothest. It was my first Schengen visa, and that was the smoothest procedure I ever had. I mean, again, the credit goes to her. So she is working very hard, more than me, on this relationship, to be honest. So all the credit goes to her. She is the she is the reason I got a chance to go there. She is the reason why I went there. So she's everything.
When were you able to visit her home country?
When my first visit was so I left India on 3rd of September 2024, and I came back on the 1st of October 2024.
Yeah, more or less quite recently, 5 months ago. And how did you like it, like exploring her home country after she visited you? I mean, that's also a different experience, no?
Totally different experience. Very less chaos. I mean, here in India, we people are used to live in the chaos. It is also nice. It's also a complete different way of living than the Netherlands. And the moment I landed, I mean, you just cannot judge the country from the airport. You have to be on the street. I mean, you just have to leave the airport and experience the country. It was quiet. As soon as we left the airport, it was very quiet. And I even asked her that, where are the cars? It was not even 8 in the evening, and the streets were almost empty, less traffic. People were observing lane discipline, although there was no one at the signal. Still, if it's a red signal, the people are respecting it. In India, it's now the people have started respecting the signal, but we're very unlike. I mean, I mean, it's. I don't want to blame Indian people, but it's totally opposite as far as the everything is very systematic. So that's the major cultural shock. It was not even a shock. It was I was quite impressed, to be
Right,
honest.
how
So
quiet it is compared
it
to India.
was a quiet. It was a quiet, and to be honest, the next morning, she had a work, so she told me that you can go and explore the area, and I actually got lost. And fortunately, I had her detailed address in my phone. So I started asking people, and to be honest, the Dutch people are quite nice and they're willing to help. And I actually had to ask a couple of people, how can I go there? Can you please tell me? And they, wait, no problem. Just wait here. One of the guys just went inside, came with his own phone, and he just told me, okay, now you are here, now here. So, okay, so after the third right, you take the second left and go, then you will be there. I said, oh, well, okay, good. Thank you. And, but yeah, overall, in general, the people are very helpful. And, but as far as the less chaos is concerned, that really surprised me a lot. And the pin drop silence, even in the morning.
Did you give him some tips and tricks to survive in Amsterdam, Marcella, before he left the door? Like not getting run over by a bicycle rider, for example. That would be the first thing that crossed my mind, because this always almost happens to me when I am in Amsterdam, that I'm just like, I'm kind of forgetting how crazy it is when it comes to bicycles.
Yeah, well, the good thing is I don't live in Amsterdam, but I live in Haarlem, so we don't have that many tourists and bicyclists. And in the residential areas in Haarlem, it's just pretty quiet, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing that I explained to him, okay, be aware that we drive on the other side of the road, so watch where you're going. Especially if you're on a bicycle yourself, or if you want to cross a road or something, just look the opposite of what you're used to, please, before it goes wrong. And mainly, I told him just not to worry, because almost every person in the Netherlands speaks English on a basic level. So whatever you need, anyone is there to help you, and don't worry. People might look grumpy, but they're very friendly, so it's okay. And besides that first morning where he got lost, we sort of explored the neighborhoods in the city together pretty quickly. I explained to him how our public transport system worked. I even got him his own card so he could just travel by himself in the area, so he could just explore the gym, how that works, stuff like that, because he's a fitness trainer as well and wants to work out. So I was like, okay, these are the basics, and the rest we will figure out as we go. So yeah. I mean,
If you
if you can survive in India, you can definitely survive here in the Netherlands. So I think it'll be fine.
This is what I was also wondering about, like getting back to the first time you traveled to India. Would it have been possible for you to just move around sola?
I think I would be able to. I mean, I've traveled to many crazy busy countries, and I'm not easily impressed or overwhelmed by those things. I mean, I love cities like Cairo, and I love Mumbai even more than Pune, really. I love the chaos and everything, because there's always a system, and especially in the chaos, there is easily a system to be found. And I love those. Just wandering the streets, as long as you have Google Maps and your voice, you'll be fine. You know, there are always people that are willing there to help. Just avoid dark alleyways and you're good. That's sort of the main rule.
It's like in any other country as well.
In the
Like
other
walk where a lot of
countries.
people are walking.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, a lot of people also tell scary stories about Amsterdam, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know where you went exactly, but it's not that bad. You know, maybe you just had some bad luck or anything. And even in India, of course, the amount of people that speak your language is way lower. And yes, it's more like talking with your hands and get the information in a different way. But even then, it's fine. I mean, when the second time when I stayed in Pune, I also had to work, or I said, please go visit your friends. Just give me an hour to myself or something. Like I need to have some me time, or just go for a walk. And then I just walked from his house to the city center, which is like 1.5 hour walk without a sidewalk. And everybody's like, you're absolutely crazy. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I mean, the cars just work around you. It's absolutely okay. Don't worry about it. But his mom almost died. And his sister was like, oh, you're an idiot. Oh, yeah, you'll be fine. Just go and do your own thing. And everybody's just like, fine, girl, go. So
Yeah, I did that as well in Buenos Aires the first time I came here, like walking around alone. And actually, my nowadays mother-in-law, she got mad with my husband because he would just allow me to walk alone through Buenos Aires. But it's not like, okay, back then it wasn't maybe the safest city. It's a little bit safer, or it is safe now. But I was feeling safe because like I was just walking where all the people were walking, all the tourist spots, and then you can just easily navigate yourself through the city. It's just like any other city in Europe, so I did not feel a big difference. But his mom really, he really like got all the heat from her because she was just like, this blonde girl in Argentina, she will be stolen, they will sell her, and like all the worst case scenarios where I was just like chilling in the park, having a coffee, enjoying my me time. And yeah, he was telling me the story after I came back. I was just like, I don't know where the issue is. I felt safe. I'm confident. Like, if anything, I know how to navigate myself. So I'm wondering, Yoshi, if you might have made a similar experience with your sister or your mom being on top of you and just being like, how could you allow this?
Absolutely, yes. Especially my dad. They're like, "Are you crazy or what? It's her first visit and you let her walk by herself." And I said, I mean, I have grown up in this city. I know how this city is safe. So, and if she wants to enjoy walking in a chaos, let her. I mean, why I should stop her? I mean, I absolutely hate walking in chaos. She loves it. And so if she wants to enjoy it, if she wants to have her me time, why not? But they were kind of furious that how can you let her go? You know the traffic is crazy in Pune. I mean, anything can happen. I said, guys, she knows how to handle herself, and I have full confidence in her. And they're like, okay, we trust her, but we still don't trust you. I said, "Oh, well, okay. I mean, aren't you supposed to be on my side?" And they were like, no, 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 no. Nope, we are not. We are still worried. Just get it sorted as soon as possible. So I wrote him a message, please send me your location. And I told her one location and she reached there. She called me. I went there and then we came together. So at least I had to find a made way out. Otherwise, I would be the person who is getting sandwiched from the both sides, which is not the
Just
best.
love how, yeah, just love how protective some families are and how they take sides, not for their own kids,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the other
Yeah.
part. It just shows how welcoming they are and how caring they are, and that you mean a lot to them already, even though if you just slide it into their lives. And that makes you feel very special as well, that they're so protective and so loving, and they yet still have to meet you. So yeah, and I'm sure this is also, I mean, you've mentioned it in the beginning, Marcella, the first time you went to India, how you even felt at home. And I guess a big part was how you've been welcomed as well overall. May I ask, like, what's the reason that you decided to stay 5 weeks the second time you went?
Well, I had multiple reasons. First of all was of course, the travel time. I was like, okay, if I'm going to go there, I don't want to go there for another 2 weeks. I want to stay longer. And at my job, they were in some sort of a transition phase, so they didn't really pay attention on how long I was going away. So I just asked them, is it okay if I go 5 weeks? They said yes. Okay, book the trip. But like, okay, now you can't go back. So now I'm going for 5 weeks, and I was allowed to do part of my job remotely on that trip. So I worked half my hours and half holiday leave. So it was some sort of a mixture. So that was absolutely perfect. And I also wanted to stay there longer because I really wanted to submerge myself in this way of life. Like, okay, is this the first trip felt good, but how is it if I'm going to stay here for a longer period of time? Does it still feel good? Because 2 weeks is different than 5. Like I said, everything is in a pressure cooker. So I mean, some people might think, oh, it's only 3 weeks. What is 3 weeks? Well, if you stay somewhere for 5 weeks, you don't have that holiday feeling anymore. Not at all. You also get annoyed. You get grumpy. Well, as women, we have our full cycle. So you see each other like on full scale. There's nothing to hide. There's nowhere to hide. There's nothing to hide. So I was like, okay, let's do this. If I could, I would have stayed longer, maybe even for 8 weeks, just to see how that went. But that wasn't an option. That was not an option. So 5 was max. So I was like, okay, let's do that. Yes. And then he came to the Netherlands for 4 weeks, and then I went there back in October and this last January. So we had every 2.5 months we have seen each other for a couple of weeks in a row. So it has been we already spent quite some time together till now. Yeah. But the 5 weeks was the most intense so far. Yeah, it was a really long time, especially because I had to combine it with work, and then you will get a different kind of pressure too. Especially when we've seen it now with the internet connection and stuff like that. It's not always that stable. So a lot of things going on in your daily life as well, in your normal regular daily life instead of your holiday life. So you get the full experience on that one. So it was good that we had that because then you actually know, okay, this is going to be my life. Am I okay with this? Can I do this? Do we need to make adjustments, or what are the issues that we need to talk over, or is it okay as it is, or yeah, you just see whole different sides of yourself, each other, and you as a couple.
What is your conclusion as a couple after spending 5 weeks in India?
Well, that we can handle it. Is that we are absolutely not perfect. It is not Hollywood dream as is in the first scene, but we are just a normal regular couple. That if you spend too much time together, you just want to have some me time as well, and that you sort of, if you spend time together, you also want to preserve a part of yourself, like your own hobbies, your own interests, your own job, stuff like that. So it's all very normal. That's what you learn, that you are very normal. Also, even though you're in a long distance relationship and it all sort of feels like a dream and a fairy tale, you're also very normal.
Mm. I can relate to this pretty much, especially after 10 years of dating. It's just so normal now.
Everything is so normal, yes.
That means that your life in the future might involve around India or in India somewhere. What's your goal on the long run?
Well, if you're asking me, I have absolutely no idea about that. To be honest, I try to think 1 year, 2 years ahead of time. That's about it. Because if that is going to be in India or whatever country that'll be, if I'm going to move, the impact will be huge, and it will be that big. It's too big to grasp now, and so I take it step by step. So I quit my current job. I have my last week at my current job, and then I'll start with a new company that is willing to give me more time to travel, because they are allowing me to work remote for 3 months out of 12 months. So that's already a step up from 0 to 3 months. So that's the first step. Let's see how that goes. And then the first trip will hopefully be somewhere around October. And then we will spend maybe like 6 weeks together, and then work remotely and also in a different location than at his house. So we're doing this in, well, for now we're planning Himachal Pradesh, but not even sure about that yet. And then we'll take it from there. And then after that 6 weeks, after my first year at the new company, let's see how much room I get to increase my remote working months in a year, and see how that goes. And maybe eventually I will be able to move to another country. But if that means that I have to move, I have to quit my career, and especially as a woman who is not in her 20s anymore and specialized in Dutch labor laws, it's going to be very difficult to start a career in India. And I am not willing to live as a how do you say that, second class citizen, like somewhere in the back seat. It's not me. I'm always chasing career and dreams and opportunities, and if I'm not able to do that, I will become very unhappy. So I have to see how to move around that. So maybe if I ever get financially independent, then maybe yes. But until that moment, no. So I think it'll be long distance for quite some time, but hopefully not with as many breaks as we have now in between. So we spend more time together, but still long distance and traveling back and forth. That's at least what I see now. But like I said, it's very difficult to look ahead in time for more than 2 or 3 years, because we take it just step by step.
What's your answer to this, Unishi? If you have like if a bowl in front of you that's telling the future, I don't know how you call those, like those globes.
Oh, that's
What would it look like for you?
So to be honest, same like Marcella, I have no clue, because we had a very brief discussion about it, and so eventually we came with a conclusion that okay, let's take it step by step, because if you think a way ahead, then it sometimes it can pressurize you, which can ruin your day, which we both do not prefer. And so if actually you are meant to be together and you have the trust, I think you can pull it off anything. I mean, you can just go through anything. And I genuinely think that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her. So yeah, even if what the life throws any surprises to us, we are willing to face. Yeah, this is my point of view.
To me, it also sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, please, that you both seem to be very easygoing. And also, either you try not to worry too much or not to think ahead because you can't think too much ahead, or it just comes natural to me. I would guess the second option, because especially you, Masala, how you explained your situation of just changing jobs so you'll be able to travel 3 months per year, and that you're not willing to sacrifice your job, for example, or your career. Um, seems like, or you are both very self-confident, so you both know exactly what you want and you both know exactly what you don't want, and therefore I feel like it's a little bit easier for you to take it one step at a time. At least you make it sound easy. So I'm wondering if I'm completely wrong or if that's the reason, because you're so self-confident but also confident in your relationship, that this is the reason why you approach the next steps the way you do. Does that make sense, what I just said?
It does, yeah. First of all, I have complete confidence in us. I mean, there are absolutely no trust issues whatsoever, and that makes it very safe to be like in this situation. I mean, I can understand that if you have some sort of an anxiety or jealousy or anything like that, that you really want to be together, and it might happen that you also pressurize the other to do the same. We both don't have that. We are both very, well, I wouldn't say that I'm very confident. I also have my insecurities, but it's not that I'm insecure about this relationship. And yes, I know what I want in life. I know what I want from life. And I know that I can handle life on my own. So it's very nice to have Rishi in it, but I don't need him to be happy. I'm also happy on my own. I'm happier with him now, but if for whatever reason it goes wrong, I know that I'm perfectly fine on my own. So maybe that's what's giving me the confidence as well, just to say like, okay, this is what I'm willing to do. This is what I'm not willing to do. This is where I draw a line or set a boundary, stuff like that. And he does the same. I mean, he made it up to 38 single in India. I mean, I can't even imagine the prejudice and everything that comes to him, and the amount of times he had to explain why and everything. So, and he just managed fine as well. So we are both able to live our lives. We just
Mm.
enjoy it better together. But yeah, and that makes it fun too. I was
Still
so
trying though.
and we don't want to. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to start hating him or blaming him for a situation that I'm in that I'm not happy about. I mean, I am responsible for my own happiness, so I have to take care of that. And I think he does the same for himself, and that works really well.
I feel like it's not about being wiser or not. It's just about the life experience you've made, and about also like, for example, when we started dating, I was 23 years old. Like, I had no idea what I expect from life. I just knew I loved this guy and I would do almost whatever in order to close the distance. Honestly, in our case, it went well, but on track, I oftentimes lost myself as well because I wasn't as self-confident as I am nowadays. Like, a lot of things, they just come with experience, and they come when you get a little bit older, like with the people you meet, with the experience you're making in life in general. And then you just learn that, first of all, things are just sometimes the way they are. You learn that you can't change people, that you just have to accept them the way they are. But you also learn so much about yourself in order to know this is a line and I don't want this line to be crossed, and this is what I'm looking for. And if it's not a match, I know, as you've just said, Masala, I be happy on my own as well. Like, I don't need another person to be responsible for my happiness. And I find that very interesting. This is also why I'm asking, because, like, kind of comparing it to our journey, in my case, or in our case, like, we've given up a lot of things in order to live together. And I'm very happy that it went well and that we're working great as a team and that we grew through this. I mean, it made us growing as a team as well. But I'm not sure if I would have made the same decision so early on in our relationship nowadays, with the knowledge I have now, and also with the self-confidence especially I have now. And I can definitely tell that both of you know that you are your own persons as well. You're not depending on anyone. And as you just said, Marcella, yes, it's great to have someone additionally in your life that makes you even happier. And in a way that you work together on a shared goal, but you're not depending on this person. So to get to the point, again, I don't think it has anything to do with being wiser or not. I wouldn't say I was stupid back then when I was 23. We're just growing with the experiences we are making. And in your case, I find it very interesting that you stand your ground and that you find a way of communication and that you still work on a shared goal, but step by step instead of freaking out or making each other responsible for things not working out the way you might them to work out, because sometimes there are specific aspects you can't really change. For example, paperwork just takes the time it takes. Getting slowly to an end of this podcast episode. First of all, thank you so much for sharing your love story. I feel like I'm sure you've shared the one or the other thing already. I know that communication plays a big part in your role. But if each of you could give one advice to a couple in a similar situation as yours, similar background, what advice would it be?
Okay, my advice is, guys, just have trust. Trust is the base. I mean, if you really want to have a long-term relationship with your person, trust, 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 trust.
Yeah. And I think I would add to that with, don't be afraid to take a chance. Just go for it, see where it leads and take it step by step. And that is, I am a known planner. um, I usually think ahead 5 to 10 years ahead in time. I had to let that go because it doesn't work that way. You just have to take it step by step. You're stepping into a whole new world with people living in a culture that's not similar to yours. You learn new things every day, and those new things influence you as a person as well. So you also change on a very quickly, on a rapid basis. So those are all things you cannot take into account. You cannot plan on those things. So they just happen. And if you plan ahead for too long ahead in time, you only become disappointed because it doesn't go as you planned. And that's not weird. It's not stupid. It is not wrong. It just is, because life is different than it was last week, because everything is in the pressure cooker. So everything. So every plan you made is out the window. Try again and take it step by step. So I would mostly say, have patience, take a chance, and like you said, Rishi, have trust in each other, but also in just the whole flow of things. If it's supposed to work out, it'll work out.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing your advice, giving us some insights in your story. I will, if this is okay, link your Instagram page in the side note as well as in the description. So everyone who's in a similar situation, similar background, feel free to contact the both of them. And I'm sure you have much more advice, and you're happy to share your experiences and to support others in similar situations. And have a lovely, now I have to think, have a lovely evening, I guess. In the Netherlands, it's evening, and in India, it's the afternoon right now, no?
Night.
No,
Oh,
it's
it's
night.
night. Oh,
It's
it's
night.
the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's midnight almost.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for taking, oh my God, now I feel bad, for taking time so late at night.
Don't be. No, it's fine. It's fine. So basically, she told me well in advance that we have this podcast on the 20th of March, and I said, so I canceled my morning trainings. So we are good.
Oh my God, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening and or for watching to today's podcast episode. If you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to rate this podcast with 5 stars wherever you're listening to it. And subscribe on YouTube in case you're watching on YouTube. As always, you'll find all the links in the side note of the podcast episode, as well as in the description of the video. And if you would like to be my guest, just fill in the form. It's also linked below. And maybe we're going to sit together someday and you're going to tell your North story. Please take care wherever you are right now. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. And see you soon. Bye.